Welcome to Horror News Radio for April 3rd, 2023. Join us for Horror Movie News of the Week featuring Eli Roth, Lee Cronin, and Blumhouse, of course. All this and more coming up next. I am your host, Doc Cronin, and this is HNR, the official Gruesome Magazine horror news podcast. Back with me again this week are the scariest, goriest, bloodiest co-host on the net, and that means Dave Dreyer, lead news writer at Gruesome Magazine. How you doing, Dave?
It's just the two OGs tonight. What's up with that?
There's a song in there somewhere.
I think so. That's all right. That's all right. Sometimes mom and dad just need time alone. You know?
No. Special days. How you doing, Dave?
I'll let you figure out how that works out. I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Doc?
I'm not giving it a second thought. I'm just going to run with it. Yeah.
You're powering through.
All right. Well, I'm excited. We have some really cool news articles to go through tonight. We have 4 news articles and of all kinds of cool announcements. And I don't know if we need to do anything else. Well, you know what? There are some things I want to tackle before we get into it, Dave.
All right, let's hear it.
The first thing is that we hope you enjoy this podcast. And if you do, please hit the like and subscribe button, share with a friend. They're easy and free to do. And each click will help us, find more horror fans just like you. And then the second thing is that HNR, starting in April, which is we're getting into that month now, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. And it will be coming up with the review of a Evil Dead Rise later in the month, which is very interesting that that happened because our first episode, Dave, back in 2013, sir, you and I, Santos, Thomas, Mariani, we did Evil Dead. That's our first. So that is really cool. And then we'll be celebrating all year long with little special things and events. And if all things work out right, Dave, it will be leading up to a first, well, I guess the inaugural. Let's call it the inaugural.
I like it.
But that'll be optimistic, right?
Good word.
Grue-Cruise. What do you think of that? Going on a cruise with the Grue-Crew and the Grue Believers unite on a cruise.
On a cruise. Yeah, it's going to be a wild time. That's all I can say. It's going to be a wild time.
All right, well, that's special news that I didn't realize I was going to announce until I just said it.
It just happened.
But look for that. It all begins toward the middle and end of April with our review of Evil Dead Rise and more. And keep a look here on YouTube and also on the Gruesome Magazine site for details about what kind of cool events and special guests and whatnot we have in store for the next close to a year of celebrating.
It's so weird that Evil Dead would play so prominently in this anniversary.
But kind of ironic and fitting.
It's true. It's all of those things. You're 100% right.
All right. Let's get into the news. Now, we've been talking about this film coming out. Well, I don't want to give it away because Dave's going to give us all the details, but this is a film I think any fan of the genre, especially how many years ago was it that this first got teased? We'll talk about that soon. Yeah, what in the world am I clumsily handing this off to you? What's going on, Dave?
Well, I think we talked about this quickly in a newscast a while back, but we all know that Eli Roth is making Thanksgiving, which of course was his mock trailer that appeared in Grindhouse, the Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez team up from, oh my God, I don't even know how many. I really, honestly, I don't remember
2010
how long
or 28 or something like that.
It was quite a while back, but it, at least in this humble horror fan's opinion, was one of the best mock trailers that was on there because it certainly caught the vibe of those late 70s, early 80s slasher films. From the narrator's voice to the grimy look. And it had just the right amount of comedy with the guy being dressed up like a killer pilgrim. Yep. But anyway, everyone loved that trailer, and for I'm going to say a decade at least, People have been clamoring for Eli Roth to make this, and finally it's happened. It was announced that Thanksgiving is going to be a thing. The news we have today is we actually have a release date for the film, which if I'm not even sure it's in production yet, and if it is,
it is.
It's just in production, right?
Yep.
But it will be released on Wednesday, November 24th, 2023. And guess what that is, Doc? It's the day before Thanksgiving. Yes, that's right. They're describing it as a slasher film that takes place during the holiday and inspired by films of the 70s and 80s, which I already discussed. And that's very much true. I hope he sticks with that same grindhouse feel that the trailer teased for us. Roth has co-written this with a gentleman by the name of Jeff Rendell. And of course, Roth is directing. And I think this will be his first directing effort in a while. He's been in front of the camera more than behind the camera recently. So I'm kind of excited for this. I know Eli Roth was a bit of a divisive figure for a while in the genre. But I say it's time we all make up and let this man entertain us.
Well, he's certainly become a respected figure now, and he's become a bit of a historian. He's done a number of those horror documentary style.
Yeah, history of horror.
Yep. And I looked it up. 2007 is when it came out. 2007.
That is so crazy. I cannot believe it's been that long.
So that is 16 years ago. So that's kind of crazy. But man, was that a fun time in the theater, those two films. And of course, Machete made it to the screen as well with two films. And rumors of a third, but I don't know if we'll ever see it. Now we just need to get the other two.
I know. What was it? The one was the Rob Zombie, which was the Women of the SS, or the Werewolf Woman of the SS. Yep. And the other one was Nope, right?
Don't.
That's it. Don't. Yeah, don't. Was there another one in there? It's been. So I have to rewatch.
There might have been, but those are the four that I remember those for. So I haven't watched the entire thing in forever.
Yeah, you can find the individual films play on IFC a lot, but they don't play them as a double feature. They play either Planet Terror or they play what was the other one? Death Proof. Death Proof. Yes. Death Proof. Yeah, but they don't play them together. And both of them were great, even as standalone films. But the trailers were awesome.
Yes. So did you mention the cast of Thanksgiving?
I did not mention the cast of Thanksgiving. Did I blow right past that, Doc?
I will share the cast. The cast includes Patrick Dempsey, Nell Varlock. I don't know who that is. Addison Rae, Jalen Thomas Brooks, Milo Manheim, Gina Gershon, Tim Dillon, and Rick Hoffman. So
Gina Gershon, there's a name.
Yeah, no,
that's a name we haven't heard in a while. I hope they get the two things that stick in my mind from the trailer are the girl on the trampoline and the knife gets stuck up through.
Oh,
and she's getting rid of that, and the scene at the end with they bring out the turkey dinner and it's actually a human being trussed up like a
yes, of course. So I forgot all about the images. We have Eli Roth and of course Thanksgiving. I hope they use that same font, which is so 70s and campy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and the whole Killer Pilgrim thing. It's great. This is high on my list.
High on your list. Well, we definitely will have fun this Thanksgiving. All right. Coming up next. So Lee Cronin is a director that, if you don't know, and that's not him, that's somebody else. Lee Cronin is a director that you need to know about. Sorry about that. We'll get to the other guy here shortly. No, I just kind of teased something, but he is the director of course, the Evil Dead Rise film, and he has a new movie already lined up. He's already tackling, which is good because he needs to pump it when he's doing all the press for Evil Dead Rise, and Evil Dead Rise is probably going to make him a well-known name amongst horror fans from what I hear of the film. But he's going to be directing a horror thriller called THAW for Studio Canal and the Picture Company and New Line. And the plot details are being kept under wraps but it's going to be a claustrophobic claustrophobic thriller that takes place in isolated setting. This will be his first solo writing effort. He co-wrote Evil Dead Rise with the one and only Sam Raimi, which is promising. And like I said, the movie will be produced by Picture Company, and Studio Canal will handle international sales. At this time, we have no idea what the casting or release date will be, but I'm sure we will hear about it as soon as it is made available.
And I found a bit of a synopsis, Doc. This is what I'm finding. Set years after the polar ice caps have melted and sea levels have risen, the story of THAW centers on a group of survivors at sea searching for a new home. Their prayers are answered with the discovery of an inhabitable town that is until they encounter a new nightmare living just below the water's surface.
Ooh, which sounds absolutely splendid to me. Absolutely splendid.
Bring it on, we say.
Now, we haven't seen Evil Dead Rise yet, although Dave had a short opportunity to do
I was standing outside the theater where it was playing. Does that count?
Close, but not close enough, man. We're not playing hand grenades here. You've got to be in there. But it's getting rave pre-reviews, and of course, it's coming out in just a few weeks. So we will be tackling it soon. And of course, I mentioned earlier in the show that will mark the beginning of our 10th anniversary celebration. So I'm excited to not only see it, but to begin our 10th anniversary.
Yes, so much excitement, all centering around our 10th anniversary. It's so cool.
I'm going to say that as much as I can, so be aware. All right, you, sir, are our literary expert. Stephen King being one of your favorite writers, and many other writers that you talk about.
Very much.
Most of us dopes just watch movies. We wait for wait for it to be made into a movie, but you actually read the books. And you have a book that is being adapted into a film. What book may be and who's involved?
This is coming at us from Paramount. It's an adaptation. The name of the film is He'll Come Knocking, or He'll Come Knocking, or He Comes Knocking. I've confused myself. He'll come
knocking. He remember, because without the apostrophe, it's hell come knocking. That's the way I remember it.
I just couldn't remember. I wasn't even looking at that. I was just going to remember if it was He'll Come or He Comes.
Well, I have an image. So but He'll Come Knocking.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's based on a book by Robert R. McCammon, who is a great horror writer. Nowhere near gets his due as a horror author. He has a book called Swan Song that was every bit as good as The Stand. Kind of set in the same world as The Stand, actually. But anyway, this was originally published in a short story collection called Halloween Horrors. And then Cemetery Dance put out like a limited edition of just the story. And it's actually called He'll Come Knocking at Your Door, was the story from McCammon. But for this movie from Paramount, it's going to be knocked down to He'll Come Knocking. The script was co-written by a Mickey Daughtry and I cannot pronounce this gentleman's name. Last name is Iconis, I believe. They adapted McCammon's story. The story is. I don't want to give anything away. I hate when I give things away, and
Don't give it away.
Okay, we're gonna leave it be. Patrick Bryce will be directing this. We should remember him from There's Someone Inside Your House. You remember that one, Doc?
Yes, and of course Creep and Creep 2, which were fun movies.
Just kind of paraphrasing it, the story is about a gentleman who finds a new job. Is really trying to turn things around for his family, and he discovers that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, he'll come knocking. And who he is, you have to wait and see. You either have to go buy the book and read it, or you're gonna have to wait till this movie comes out. to find out what it is. But it's a great story, and I think this will make a great adaptation. I really do. Are you familiar at all with McGammon's work?
I am not. This is the first time I've actually knowingly heard of his name. I apologize for that.
See how you are.
I'm
I'm
one of the dopes. I'm a dope.
This has been fast tracked. This has been fast tracked into production. So could we maybe see this by Halloween?
That would be a serious fast track at this time. Yeah, it's
just
not impossible. Not impossible.
So obviously, no casting or release date information has been announced as of yet. But this is again another exciting one to keep an eye on. And honestly, probably hoping for a late year release is a little too optimistic. We're probably looking at spring of next year for this one.
Maybe it's a January release, because January has been insane. This past year was a great year. It was a great year for horror in January. I'd like to see that continue.
Yeah, same here. And who knows? Maybe this will just go right to Paramount Plus. Maybe they'll do with this like they did with that Paranormal Activity chapter that just kind of popped up on Paramount Plus.
It's possible, but Paramount has been doing incredibly well lately.
Yeah, of course, films. Scream 6, right? Scream 6 is just carrying it up still, right?
And Smile did, incredibly well. So they know that the theater, they're going to put it in the theater. Let's just put it that way. It's going to the theater. And then, and Megan, of course, was Megan Paramount as well?
No, that was Universal, I believe.
That was Universal. But of course, Megan did great. I'll just put it that way. And Scream February, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
So the early months have proven very well for horror, very strong. So I would imagine.
We used to make fun of them. Back in the early days of our
last year,
roughly 10 years ago, back in the early days, we used to laugh at January and February being the dumping grounds for the crap.
I would say as early as late as last year we were laughing at it. I mean, this year has been quite respectable. It's been incredible. Not only were they, some movies have made a lot of money in January, but maybe their quality has been questionable. But this year the quality was fantastic. Megan was insanely good, and but anyway, that's where I'm putting my dollar. That's where I'm putting my quarter. I'm putting my quarter on January or February next year.
I'm you know what? I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that? You'll go with that? I'm
okay with that.
You'll buy that? You'll buy that for $1?
I will indeed.
All right. Now, we kind of mentioned it. Blumhouse, what does Crystal call me?
I believe, sir, you are a Blum humper.
Well, that I may be. I, of course, am taking the Blumhouse article, which is news because it's awesome. Blumhouse has acquired the rights for the paranormal tale Mr. Entity, the Moffat family haunting, which is I love paranormal even more. Paranormal Activity and any all the haunting, all the Insidious films, all the films. I just love ghost films and paranormal films. They're my favorite. So Blumhouse has signed a multi-year deal with writer-producer Deborah Jessica Moffat. As part of the deal, Moffat will create and develop a new TV projects for the company. The article notes that Moffat has previously worked on shows such as Criminal Minds and The Vampire Diaries. Very interesting shows to be working on. And she has a background in psychology and incorporates it into her storytelling. Moffat first project under the deal will be a supernatural thriller series called Mr. Entity, which is being developed for the streaming platform Peacock. The series is described as a creepy, character-driven supernatural thriller, and it follows a woman who begins to experience strange and terrifying occurrences after she takes a job at a mysterious corporation. Mr. Entity is one of several projects that Blumhouse Television is currently developing for Peacock, including a TV adaptation of the horror movie The Others. Wow. Way to bury that in the article. The Others. That's the one from the early 2000s.
Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Which itself was a remake of another film. But it was, oh my God, that's a good film.
Yeah, more of a gothic horror tale, ghost
story. Ghost story. So I'm happy about that.
And Peacock, once again, Peacock killing it. We got Crystal Lake coming. We got, now this Mr. Entity. The title seems, does the title seem a little weird to you, Mr. Entity? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can just picture like a sitcom theme song now in my head. I can't get rid of it. It's Mr. Entity.
Okay, there's something in that, but I don't know if it's for this film. But no, it's a creepy. I described it as a creepy character-driven supernatural thriller. I'm all on board.
Yeah, and apparently this Moffat family haunting you can research. I mean, I guess this in the paranormal world, this was a big deal. Just on some quick reading that I've done while you were talking there, Doc. This is there appears to be a lot of research you can do on this, and if they appear to have a lot of stuff they can work with to make this really creepy. And people love this ghost hunter stuff, I mean, they just do.
Right. Yeah, because it says the Moffats were terrorized by the supernatural spirit in the late 80s, early 90s, keeping the affairs under wraps to all those except paranormal experts.
Until now.
Until now. I am excited, but it's my jam, right? So not only
it sounds good. It really does. I'm excited for this as well. No word on when we might see it, though, right?
No, it's just starting. So it's the first announcement of it. So I'm sure we'll hear more news of not only when it will air, but who will be in it, who will be directing it, who will be involved. And you know where we're going to discuss that, Dave?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be on Gruesome Magazine.
That's right here, HNR on Gruesome Magazine. That's where we're going to be discussing it. And as the news comes out, we will bring it up. And
these streaming services have really upped the game, though, for horror, have they not?
It certainly made it.
There's just so much.
The amount of content is insane. I mean, April alone, if you watched our last episode where we did the countdown, 13 horror films that you must watch, go check it out. It should be up here somewhere. The link to it. It's insane this month what's happening. I mean, we're getting Renfield, we're getting what is it? There's all kinds. I mean, a totally version.
Evil Dead Rise. We've already talked about that. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember what they all were. There were a ton of them. You know what we need to do, Doc? We need to count down our top 13 reasons why we don't have a top 13 list today.
Ah, there you go. You fart. I think there's only one reason, but yeah, we'll go with other movies that are coming out are The Pope's Exorcist, which is one I'm looking forward to. Maybe not you. Black Demon, which is
another biggie.
Yep. And Beau's Afraid is another one.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of.
Did you hear? Did I read right that Beau's Afraid is like 3.5 hours long?
I hope the hell not. But it might be.
I think I read that somewhere today that it's like 3.5 hours long. So now Dave is afraid.
Now Dave is afraid
that you're going to make me go see it.
You won't though.
Yes, sure. I already have a headache.
It's 8:24. You're not going to see it. Well, there you go. That's our news for tonight. Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. Lee Cronin is doing THAW. Paramount is going to have He'll Come Knocking, and Blumhouse is going to have Mr. Entity. Lots of cool stuff. Lots of really cool stuff. And we'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below on these articles. What did you think? Which one are you looking forward to the most? It's up for grabs. I don't know which one this is the most exciting. They're all exciting. And well, there you go. Dave.
Yeah.
I just want to say this sincerely. Thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
Oh no, you're making me blush, Doc. Always a good time. Always a good time.
All right, let's say good night.
Good night.